video, I want to show you guys how to do a variety of simple things in the TI-83 or 84, whatever calculator you might have. It's pretty much all the same. Your colors may look a little bit different. So first thing we want to do is turn it on. Once your calculator is on, you typically go to what's called the home screen, and it should be just basically a blank screen. You might see some things in there. If there's stuff in there, you can press clear. If you're not in this home screen, you can press second and the mode button, and as you see, if you press the second button, you access the features that are above the buttons. So second mode will get you to quit whatever screen you're in, and that will automatically return you to the home screen. Now in here you can type in your command, so 3 divided by 4, let's say we would like to do that, and once we press the enter button, the result appears over here on the right hand side. So basically you can do all your arithmetic in here, and you can do pretty complex stuff. Let's say I wanted to do 3 plus, let's say -2. So the one distinction you want to make is minus is an operation treated as subtraction, but if you want to make a number negative, you actually have to press this button down here. See the negative sign in the parentheses? So if I did 3 plus -1, well, that should be equal to 2, and you see that that works out. But if I do 3 plus -2, that way I get an error because it doesn't understand what I'm trying to tell it. And that's just one of the features of the TI calculator. One of the really neat things, if you're working with fractions and you're typing in something really complicated like 0.25 to the second power, now to get to the second power you can do one of two things. You can press the little caret over here and do caret 2, and that'll do 0.25 raised to the second. Or you can actually press 0.25 and then the squared button. That will also do what you want it to do. Okay, so let's just say I wanted to calculate something like 0.25 squared plus 4 times 0.25. Plus, another way to do multiplication is, let's just say I wanted to do 3 times 6, is you could do 3 open parenthesis, 6 close parenthesis, and that would mean the same thing as the multiplication sign. So if I press enter, well, I get this mean-looking fraction, or mean-looking decimal, and suppose that it would be of interest to convert this thing to a fraction. Well, you could do that by actually pressing the math button now, and what this feature will do is it'll grab the last output the calculator gave you, and it will convert that to a fraction. So we'll press math, and this little button, this number 1 on the math column, says convert to fraction. So we'll select that, press enter, and you'll see that that converts it to, in this case, an improper fraction, which is perfectly sufficient in most cases. Additional features that we'll eventually use, if you go to the math option, you notice that there's a bunch of other things. Now these ones with the arrows are going to take your last output and convert it to a fraction or convert it to a decimal, whatever you choose. Now here, if you wanted to raise something to the third power, you could type in your number into the home screen, go over to math, press option 3, and that would give you a third power, or for simplicity you could just take the number caret 3, and that would also raise it to the third power. Now if you wanted to do a square root, you notice there are roots here. Let me quit out of here, go back to my home screen, and let's say I wanted to take the square root of 9. So I would press, notice here above the x squared button, you see the square root, second x squared opens a parenthesis automatically, type in 9, close that parenthesis, press enter, and that will give you the square root of 9, which we would expect to be 3 because 3 times 3 equals 9. There are a lot of other features on here, but getting comfortable with it just really depends on what you want to do. One thing that's worth mentioning is the mode button. If you go to the mode button, this is basically setting all the features of your graphing calculator. So typically we want this to be in normal. Float will tell you exactly how many decimal places you get. These options here. If we just leave it as float, that will round things appropriately. Oftentimes if you want something exactly to 2 decimal places, you can go down till you highlight the second line, come over to 2, press enter, and now you can see if you move your cursor off that number 2, it has it highlighted. But I'm going to keep it on float. Radian, degree isn't that important for us. That's more for trigonometry, but we'll keep basically everything on the left-hand side highlighted for this class. There's really no reason we would not want that. So that's a little bit of an introduction to the calculator. The home screen is where you do all of your calculations and computations. And in the next video, we'll take a look at doing some basic graphing.